Hey guys, and welcome back to the 10th video in this video series. We have been covering the entire series so fast and it's not even 2 weeks and we are close to the end. And anyways, let's see what we are going to create this time. Alright, we have this text grid with parallax image and also the index numbers are enlarged and behind the text for each of the paragraphs. So let's quickly get into the coding. Create a section and the class will be wrapper, and let's give an ID also to reference to this section later using the CSS. Then get inside and create a div, and this will have the class overlay so that we can add the gray color effect to the image, and p-3 to add 3 rem of padding within this div. We are not using margin with this overlay class because there is a reason. If we use the margin, then this overlay class will not be applied to the entire image, and instead it will leave out 3 rem of margin all around it. We don't want that, so that's why we are using padding. Anyways, then get inside and create another div and class d-flex-r so that we can divide the entire text grid into 2 sections. The first half will contain the paragraph text and the second half, which is the right half, that will contain the text grid. So we will begin with the first half and we will give it a width of 40% of the entire div container. Then let me just define the div. Alright, and as you can see, W40 will give it a width of 40% and D-flex-C will make sure that the contents are aligned into different rows within this div. Then quickly define the second half or the right half with the 60% of the container so that the 40 and the 60 will add up to a total of 100. Alright, up till this point I don't think there should be any misunderstanding or there should be any doubt. Up till this point it's pretty simple. Then let's start with the first half or the left half. So let's add the relevant classes, and I want the text to be aligned on the left, and also the text should be in white color since the image is going to be on the background. Alright, then let's get inside and start with the subtitle. I am just copying the text. You have the liberty to write whatever you want. Then below the subtitle, let's define the main title. Then after the title, we are going to define some text. I'm using the dummy text just as before. Alright. Then below the text, I will define the button, and the button has to be enclosed within the div. Alright, so this completes the first half or the left half. It was pretty simple. We didn't do much. We have just created the subtitle, the title and the button. Pretty simple, isn't it? Then let's get into the second half or the right half. And also, before moving any further, let me give an ID to the first half and one ID to the right half. Alright. Then get inside the right half or the second half, and let's begin with the first row. Now let me explain you how the grid is working. Since the first div, which is dividing the first half and the second half, that div is having the class d-flex-r, which means it is having the flex direction as row. So which means because of that class, the first half and the second half are in the same row. So now we are in the second half or the second half column. Now within this column, we have this class d-flex-c, because of which the grids that we are going to create under this will be in different rows. So then get inside and create the first card, that is the 1x4. And we are using a class card and then padding 2rem all around it. Then let's define the title, and we are enclosing the title within a div. Let's see in the website what is the title. So as you can see, the title is going to contain the index number, that is the 01, and then the title text. So both of these will be enclosed within this div. So for the index number, we are using a span tag. A span tag is used to group inline elements in a document, or it is a way to add some stylings to a part of a text, just a part of the text, not the entire text. Then num, num, we will use this class to make the index number big, and then it should be behind the text. We will make that. Then text as bold. Alright, then let me define the title, and since it is a card title, so let me give it appropriate name and no margin. Alright, so this defined the title. Then get outside the div and create a p tag. This will create the text, and it is the card text. Alright, then get below it and create a div, and within the div we will define the button. Alright, so this div containing the class card is defining one card completely. So we can copy this entire div. You can see where this div is starting and where it is ending. Copy it entirely and paste it below. This will be the second card or 2x4. Let me make the changes. And we can see it in the browser. So this was the first row. Now in the same way, we have to create the second row. And you can see where the first card has end, and then where the second card has end. Then after the ending of the first card and the second card, we have to copy the entire div, which means we have to copy this entire div which has the class d-flex-r, because this div is completely defining one row, and in one row we are having two cards. So if we copy this entire div, we can create another row. If you are not sure, please pause the video and see which div I am talking about, and please don't make mistake here, otherwise your website will not look as it should. Then paste it and rename it to second row. Alright, then this will be third card. Then this one will be the fourth card. Alright, so it was also pretty simple. And this button, if you don't want the button like this and you just want a link like we have in the example page, you can just remove this btn space btn hyphen pink and instead just write text hyphen pink. So this will turn the button into a pink colored link. You can see I'm talking about the e tag, the class of e tag. Just remove the btn space btn hyphen pink and write text hyphen pink. And you can see that in the browser. Alright, the grid is already taking the shape. It will just need some fixing up. So let's add the background image first. So for that we will refer to the section using the id parallax hyphen text hyphen grid. Then let me just define the image. And in the folder you can see this is the image I am talking about. Alright, then the background position center to keep the picture in the center of the section, and background size cover, make the image cover the entire section even if it has to crop a little bit. Then background attachment fixed, so that the picture is fixed to its position when we scroll through it. And this is the property which is responsible for giving us the parallax effect. Anyways, then let's refer to the divider div, and with that div we have used id parallax hyphen text hyphen grid hyphen divider. And let's add padding on the top and the bottom. This is just to make it look better. Then let's style the title of the card, and each title class is defining the title as well as the index number. Alright, then let's reference the cards, and for each card we have used the class card. and we will make the display as flex and the direction of the flex as column. Alright. Now reference the NUM, the num class, which we have used with the index numbers. You can see this is the title class. Then we have this num class for each index numbers. So let's make the flex shrink 0, because this flex shrink property specifies how the item will shrink relative to the rest of the flexible items inside the same container. And since we have given it 0, so it means the shrink is set to false, so it will not shrink. And we want the position to be absolute, z index 0, and font size 6 rem, because we want a big font. And let's give it width of 100% and a gray color. Alright, now let's make the card title to come in front of the index number. So for that we just have to make the z index greater than the z index number of the num class. Alright. Now let's reference the text inside the card, and those texts are using the card-text class. And let's add some margin on the top. Alright. And let's do some media queries to make it look better in small screens. That is, in the small screen, we want the first half and the second half to be in different rows. Let me show you in the browser also. So below 768, I want the first half to be in the first row and the second half to be in the second row. That is, we want these two elements to be aligned in different rows, because you can see the text is getting congested, and going further down the road or further decreasing the width of the screen will even make the matter worse. So it's better to change the orientation or the alignment. So for that we are going to reference the d-flex-r class, which was used with the div that had the id parallax-text-grid-divider, since that div is responsible for dividing the two halves. And I'll just change the flex direction to column. Now you have one more option, whether you want to keep it this way or you want to align the grid into different rows. That is, if you want, you can keep it this way, like two cards in one row, or if you want, you can align the cards into different rows. So for that, reference the divider div using the id parallax-text-grid-divider. Then hash right half, since we are talking about the right half. Then the d-flex-r, and make the flex direction column. So you can see now the cards are in different rows. Let me just center align the text in the left half. And also add some margin on the bottom. Alright, now let me just make some more formattings. Alright, alright, now it is looking perfect. You can go ahead one more step and customize it or personalize it the way you want it. But anyways, we are finished with this part of the video and I'm going to see you in the next one. Also, if you like the video, please don't forget to hit like button and subscribe to the channel if you have not subscribed till now. Thanks for watching.